Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another live stream. In this live stream is actually going to be way different than normal, actually. Usually, I don't really do this, but I figured that, you know what? As like a good way for me to like actually start learning how to like use the coding language React, I'm just going to like occasionally just do these little coding sessions and stuff, live streams where you can just like follow along or like, brainstorm off of me, or like we can just talk about like how to solve this problem and how to go about it and stuff, and just learn in general about coding and stuff. Or in this case, React. So, and if you any of you guys who are just poking in into the stream, just like wondering what's going on and stuff, by all means, like ask questions if you don't know what's going on, and I'll be more than happy to explain what's going on. Um, but before that, dude, I don't know. Like, I think there is. Here's my thing. Like, I believe there's like some royalty-free music, real quick, that I could put on. Either public domain lo-fi. Yeah, it should be good. Nice and chill. Hopefully it's not too loud. Let me see. And pop the chat out so I can actually see people talking. Hey, what's up, Dean? How's it going? Is this similar to RenPy? So, unfortunately, not really. This is more complicated than RenPy, in my opinion. RenPy is using Python, which is a whole different language. Let me see. RenPy language is using Python and Python. See superset Python doesn't just see like performance with code published. Yeah, I guess Python is so weird. I've never heard of Python before, but I guess it's a subsidiary language of Python for some reason. So I don't know. But yeah, if you wanted to learn how to use Python and like RenPy and stuff like that, this probably isn't like the best live stream for you to go by. I'll probably eventually I'll get to it, because that Python is something I actually do need to learn. And some cool shit you can do with Python is that you can actually like automate a lot of stuff on your computer. So you can just like write a quick program, and just like if you don't want to do something that's repetitive, you can just like write it up and just play, and it just automatically does it for you. It's really cool. You can do a whole bunch of shit with it. So I'm pretty good. First time I've seen your live stream. Hey man, appreciate you just stopping by. Yeah, usually I do a lot of like anime related, or like a lot of like visual novel and like gaming live stream kind of thing, but I kind of figured that, that stuff is kind of like meh, it gets boring after a while, and I just wanted to try something new. So this is why I'm just doing this. So if you for those who don't know, I'm using a website which you can also get if you're like interested in learning how to program. It's called Free Code Camp. Just go to freecodecamp.org and you'll be able to like log in and do all that kind of stuff. So here are the courses for front-end development libraries. I already know how to use jQuery, which is a library, and Sass. I just recently completed Sass, so there's that. I still need to go through the Bootstrap course. I already know how to do a little bit of Bootstrap, but I'm like kind of iffy with it. So maybe in part 3 of the stream, I'll just go over Bootstrap. And then look, freaking React has 47 modules to like go through. And then Redux, I've never heard of Redux before. So I have no idea what this is. I think this is like a database, probably something like that. And then actually developing something with React is something that's my goal right at this point. Because I'm actually a software developer and stuff, and I work with JavaScript. But the thing is that I wanted to expand my skill set because I've seen a lot of jobs like asking for React and like Python as well as like MongoDB and stuff like that. And I'm like, I have no idea how to use that. I also want to like, in order for me to get a job in Google or like the FANG companies, I have to like know my data sets and stuff and do leak code shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? And I have no idea what's going on, dude. Hey, what's up? Jordan, how's it going? I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for stopping by, man. I rule. Hey, what's up? I'm a software developer on my current company, and I'm used as Rex, so I'm happy about that. I had 3 years of experience in Angular. Dude, that's something I also need to do to learn is Angular, dude. Like, bro, there's just so many stuff. Like, I'll tell you my background real quick for everybody. So, I went to college for Ivy Tech. It's a little community college in my area, right? So I initially went into Ivy Tech to like actually learn how to do like, you know, website development, basic website development. I did not expect to like learn any like C or any of those other languages because at the time I had no idea that there was more to programming or to more to front end development than initially thought. So I actually learned how to do like I touched on like Java for Android development as well as like C and C++. And funny enough, I've never actually touched JavaScript. And ironically, that's what I'm proficient in right now. But as far as that front end development, I only know HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and you know, super basic shit to make a basic website, right? So I honestly, my goal at this point in my development career is I want to learn how to connect a database to a front end and like using Node.js and like, you know, how all this like I don't know how everything works together, you know, and deploy a website of my own that actually uses data and shit to make something pretty fucking cool. That's my goal right now. And hopefully, I hope to God that this helps me a lot so I can like actually get paid better. Cause like currently I'm making like freaking, I don't know, not that much compared to a lot of other developers that make 120K a year or some shit like that. I make half of that, dude. And it's sad. Like, bro, but I don't know. Yeah, React is more popular. I've heard a lot of things about React, like that it's the most popular one by Facebook. I think it was open source and stuff from made by Facebook team. I'm pretty sure that's right. But the thing is that React is kind of clunky. It's not as efficient as people say. At least that's what I've been hearing. I don't know, but it's the most popular front end language. But I don't know. I'm going to Jordan. It's going good, and can I do a react to your Yandere videos? I think I asked one before, but I can't remember. Yeah, man. If you want to do a reaction, by all means, you know, just do the basic stuff like credit me in the description or something. It doesn't have to be like big or anything, but yeah, pretty much it. 60K isn't bad at starting out. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad, but thing is, I started like doing e-commerce, setting up websites and shit like that, earning like freaking $15 an hour, then bumping up to like 17 and stuff. And in today's economy, dude, honestly, that's like not that much. Like, in order for me to feel like comfortable and like okay, I feel like I need to make at least like 95K or more, and then I'd be happy. Honestly, I would just be happy doing that, just making that income where I live, because I live in the freaking Midwest of the United States, and like the cost of living isn't like crazy expensive, but like I feel like if I get to that level of income, then I feel more comfortable, you know. And I'm sure a lot of people feel that way. And like, there's so many people trying to break into tech, and it's like, I'm just, I don't know. I'm just lucky that I got into it a little earlier and was able to like get experience and stuff like that. So, and I didn't actually have to go back to college to get a bachelor's in like software development or any of that stuff. So I just have an associate's. So luckily for me, it worked out that I'm able to like, you know, get a job in like and actually call myself a software developer, I guess. Or not software developer, but software engineer. But yeah. Anyway, I feel like I've been rambling a little too much. But yeah, I'm just gonna like start learning React. So a lot of text, you know, it's always a good thing to see a lot of text. Constant JSX. React is an open source library by Facebook. Yeah, I knew it. It was maintained by Facebook. It's a great tool render. I wonder. Okay, so let's say if Facebook goes under, will React become irrelevant? That's my question. But I don't know. That's besides the point. Use syntax extensions of JavaScript. Use a JSX that allows you to write HTML directly within JavaScript. HTML directly within JavaScript. This lets you use the full programming power of JavaScript within HTML. It helps you keep your code readable. For the most part, JSX is similar to HTML that you can already learn. However, there are a few key differences that will become important throughout these challenges. Because JSX is a syntactic extension of JS, you can actually write JS directly with JSX. To do this, you simply include the code you want to be treated as JavaScript within the curly brackets. This is treated as a JavaScript code. Keep this in mind since it's used in several future challenges. However, because JSX is not valid JS, JSX code must be compiled into JavaScript. The transpiler Babel is a popular tool for this process. For your convenience, it's already added behind the scenes for these challenges. If you happen to write syntactically invalid JSX, you will see the first test in these challenges fail. It's worth noting that under the hood, the challenges are calling React DOM.render JSX document getElement by ID. This function call is what places your JX into React's own lightweight representation of the DOM. React then uses a snapshot of its DOM to optimize updating only specific parts of the actual DOM. Huh. Okay, so that's a big. I'm not a very wordy person. I'd rather like actually visually see it happen. This has my interest. Yes, indeed, mine too. This is gonna be interesting. Let's see. The current code uses JSX to assign div element to the constant JSX. Replace the div with an h1 element and add the hello JSX inside. Should return the HTML. So it should look, the code currently uses JSX to assign div. Replace the div with an h1 element inside it. Should return an h1 element. Should include the text hello JSX. Wait. I am confused. Okay, so this is treated as JavaScript code. So how would you write this? I have no idea. I'm like super lost. I need more example under the hood challenge you're calling. React DOM render JSX. Is that what I need to write? I feel it. I don't think so, but I feel like maybe I'm like really going into this blind. Oh no, I don't think so. This is syntactically wrong because this is starting a constant. So yeah, I have no idea how you would write this. I'm like really stupid, as you guys can see. Yeah, I'm gonna see. What do you just reply? Bruh, So you're just basically replacing it? Is that what the heck they're asking? It's just I thought I had to like write some freaking, I don't know, like JSX freaking H1. I thought it wanted me to do something like that. I don't know, to like return it, but I guess it's just asking me to like replace it. That's kind of dumb, dude. Like it should just said that to begin with, but maybe I'm just really dumb. I'm gonna look at this real quick. Can it just be a picture book? Right, dude. I swear to God, dude. Like, I feel like in order for me to grasp React, I probably need to like watch a lot of video tutorials and stuff like that. Or at least, you know, it'd be nice if they added like a little GIF on the side so you can like see what exactly they want me to do, right? Because I'm a very visual learner, right? That's the only shitty part is about my learning is that since I'm a very visual learner, I kind of struggle a lot with like word prompts and shit like that. So especially in school, and like, bro, I just can't. But to think it's just that simple, because I'm the kind of person to like overthink everything, and it's like if it really fucks me up a lot, because like I would think that, okay, this is I'm coming up with this complicated thing, right? And it turns out to be super simple, but I just overthink it because I need to like every single detail in order for me to like actually comprehend what's going on. But that's just me. I don't know about you guys, but that's just how I process information. That's what I'm doing. I might just outsource for coding a game. It really is another language. Yeah, I don't blame you, dude. Like, there's just so many languages to learn. And honestly, it's not bad like trying to like familiarize yourself with like the base language of what you're trying to do in that. And that's why I'm kind of trying to expose myself to a lot of these languages so I can just like pick it up and like know what's going on. And I don't, even though I'm not proficient in it, I'm like the jack of all trades kind of person. So I know some people might say, well, if you're a jack of all trades, you're not good at anything, right? You just know how to actually read it, but you don't actually know how to do anything. But the thing is, that's why you have Google and like Stack Overflow, and you could just like freaking look it up, right? I don't know. That's just how I view it. The last challenges was a simple example of JSX, but JSX can represent more complex HTML as well. One important thing to know about nested JSX is that it must return a single element. The parent one element would be wrapped all the other elements inside nested elements, okay? For instance, several JSX elements written as siblings with no parent wrapper element will not be transpiled. Here's an example. So div wraps all these paragraphs inside the div, right? Invalid, it's just a bunch of p tags, right? Which makes sense because, you know, they're like considered individual tags as opposed to like a wrapped, like a boxed object, right? Define a new constant that renders a div tag. Okay. Which contains the following in order. Okay, I know exactly how to write it now. Now that I know visually, how do you assign, can you just like indent it, or how the hell do you like actually do that? Or do you have to like nest it within one line? That's my question. An H1 tag. I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing this right. Because this example is showing that you can indent it and shit like that, but I feel like if I enter a new line, it's like, it's not going to be right. I don't know. I could be wrong. A p tag. Dude, I haven't messed with freaking HTML that much. And an ordered list that contains the three li items. Dude, okay, so am I going to like freaking indent this or what? Hopefully this is acceptable. I feel like it might not be, but that'd be kind of dumb if it's not. Dude, writing HTML is such a hassle, like I swear. It's one of the most tedious things. Oh shit, it does compile. Okay, cool. So it does work. Should contain the first, maintain the BS as a second. UL tag. Oh, it's a UL tag. I thought, okay, it's an unordered list. I put an ordered list. Okay. 3 li elements. Hey, yo, look at that. I got it. Jordan, how long does it take you to make a yandere video with what got you started? How long does it take me to make a yandere video? Well, it really depends, because you have to realize that I actually have to like write the story and everything, and that's the thing that like really takes me the longest. Like the actual video itself, like the editing and the pictures and drawings and shit, I can do all that within a day. But this actual writing out the story and stuff, because I really have to think through it and making sure everything is like consistent, that can take me like weeks, dude. Like that's why it takes me forever to write these stories. So, but that's the beauty of it, is that you can make a world, you can write a world of whatever you want and make it look and make it like thrilling and like very enticing for the viewer and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it could take weeks. Man, honestly, it really depends on how good you are at writing and coming up with like concepts and stuff like that, because I'm very picky with concepts, and I hate like repeating myself, so it takes me a while to come up with a concept that I have never done before. Dean, jack of all trades means a master of none. We can fix your shoe, but we can't make you a new one. Pretty much, honestly, yeah, that's pretty accurate. JSX is a syntax that gets you compiled into a valid JavaScript. Sometimes for readability, you might need to add comments to your code. Like most programming languages, JSX has its own way of doing this. To put comments inside JSX, you need to use a syntax with the curly brackets and to wrap them around the comment text. The code editor has a JX similar to what you created in the last challenge, and add a comment somewhere within the provided div element without modifying the existing H1 and P elements. All right, so it wants me to add a comment to it. I feel like that's such a hassle, like, dude, like doing a comment like this, it's just too much. Why can't they just adopt like regular JavaScript comments? Like, why can't they just do that? Well, I guess you could technically, but I don't know, man. Doing the curly brackets and the comment that you would normally use for like JavaScript is kind of a pain. The constant should return div element. The div should contain an H1 tag in the first element. The div should contain a P tag in the second element. Should not be modified. Should use valid comment syntax. Wait, so the code editor has a JSX element similar to what you use. Add a comment somewhere within the provided div element without modifying. Oh, okay, so it wants me to add a comment, not like comment out the actual div tags. Okay, I'm like retarded right now. All right, sure, that's fine. It's still kind of redundant in my opinion. I don't know why Facebook thought this was a good idea. Facebook is stupid. I actually wouldn't mind donating to Free Code Camp because they actually do help a lot of people, so. Also, are all the Yandere stories the same universe? I think it would be cool if it is. I try not to make it the same universe because if I do, you know, there's a little kind of like issues, conflicting issues. But maybe eventually I will make it somehow connect it, some of them together to make it, you know, more cinematic and shit like that. But I don't know. I haven't thought about that yet. So first, I want to finish my latest one and then start a new season. So we'll see where that goes. You dived it. Yeah, I dived it. No kidding. So far, you've learned that JSX is a convenient tool to write readable HTML within JavaScript. With React, we can render this JSX directly to the HTML DOM using React's rendering API known as React DOM. React DOM offers a simple method to render React elements to the DOM, which looks like React DOM render component to render target node, where the first argument is the React element or component that you want to render, and the second argument is a DOM node that you want to render the component to. As you would expect, React DOM render must be called after the JSX element declarations, just like how you must declare variables before using them. Okay, that makes sense. The code editor has a simple JSX component. Use the React DOM.render method to render this component to the page. You can pass the defined JSX elements directly in the first argument and use the document get element by ID to select the DOM node and render them. This is the div with ID challenge node available for you to use. Make sure you don't change the JSX constant. Okay, so basically it just wants me to render DOM node. The constant should return a div, okay, which it does. The div should contain an h1, okay. The div should contain a p tag, okay. Provide JSX element should render to the DOM node with a challenge node. So basically, document dot get element by ID. Wait, let me see. So what, do I just use the the code is used the React render. So I have to use this React DOM render, and the first argument would be you pass a defined JSX element directly to the first argument. So I pass the first argument, which is JSX. Target node. I don't know, this is so wonky. React DOM is not defined. What? What the fuck does it want me to do? Did I misspell it or something? Or what? Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, I guess I did misspelled it. The Yandere Diary Cinematic Universe, bro. That's pretty funny. That should be a thing, huh? Funny enough, I had a friend on Discord named Steven. He was like going on about that, like the freaking the Yandere Cinematic Universe. And I was like, bro, that would be so funny. But I don't know. Aoi BD transmission. Isn't that from that? I forgot what? I already forgot that game. What it was called. Dang, dude, I need to finish that game because that was a pretty interesting story. A lot of people were saying like, no, you shouldn't finish it, but I don't know. Jordan, I have to go. All right, see you, man. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you, like, you know, coming by and like saying hello. Have a great day, man. Okay, so let me get this straight. So React DOM is the function you need. You pass whatever you're trying to like insert into the document, into the HTML document. You store it within a constant variable right here, JSX. All this HTML is stored in here. You pass it as the first argument, then target whatever you want. I wonder if you can use it like, if you can use jQuery with React. So I can just do that instead of document get element by ID. I don't know how jQuery reacts with like, or React and jQuery reacts together, but I think it should be possible unless there's like, you know, like clashing between like different kinds of like classes and stuff like that, but I don't know. Totono, I think you started it, but I think it's worth finishing. Okay, sure, yeah, man. I definitely will try to. I don't know. Like I said, like I'm kind of iffy with like games now because it's like I get pretty like, I don't know. Games can get kind of stale if I'm not too interested in it. So I'm trying to do something new, different with this. So hopefully this catches on and people like actually more people will come in and like, you know, say what's up, how's it going, and like help me up and give me tips and shit like that. But we'll see. Now that you're getting comfortable writing JSX, you may be wondering how it differs from HTML. So far, it may seem like that HTML and JSX are exactly the same. One key difference is JSX is that you can no longer use the word class to define HTML classes. This is because class is a reversed word in JavaScript. Instead, JSX uses class name. In fact, the naming convention of all HTML attributes and event references in JSX become camel case. For example, a click event in JSX is onClick instead of onClick with lowercase. Likewise, onChange becomes onChange. While this is a subtle difference, it is an important one. Keep in mind moving forward. So they capitalize the second word. Okay, yeah, you know, that's fine. Apply the class of myDiv to the div provided in the JX code. Okay, this returns a div should have a class of myDiv. I think that's how they expect me to write it. Yeah, cool. Okay, it's not too difficult. So far you've seen the JSX differs from HTML in key way. I need to turn down the volume a little bit because it's like, it's a little too loud. Hopefully that's a little better. I don't know. We'll see. That would be cool to have the knowledge of this kind of stuff. I tip my hat to you if you can do it. Yeah, no kid. Thanks, man. I try. So far, you've seen JSX. Okay, wait. The use of class name versus class for defining HTML classes. Another important way is JSX differs from HTML is the idea of self-closing tag. In HTML, almost all tags have both an opening and closing tag. The closing tag always has a / before the tag name and that you're closing. However, there are special instances in the HTML called self-closing tags, or tags that don't require both an opening and closing tag before another tag can start. For example, the line break tag can be written as BR or as BR forward slash, but should never be written as that since it doesn't contain any content. In JSX, the rules are a little different. Any JSX element can be written with a self-closing tag, and every element must be closed. The line break tag, for example, must always be written as BR over slash in order to be valid JSX that can be transpiled. A div, on the other hand, can be written as div or as a normal div. The difference is that in the first syntax version, there is no way to include anything in the div. You will see it later challenged that the syntax is useful when rendering React components, which is like modules, pieces or Lego pieces of different packages of code that you combine. Like when you want to render it at that specific location, you just grab that and just put it there. So that's one cool thing about React that I like, is that you can just render elements out of like already pre-created elements just like that. And it's like putting Lego pieces together and shit like that. It's pretty cool. But like I said, like a lot of people saying it's like kind of like inefficient. So I don't know. We'll see about that. Fix the errors in this code editor so that the valid JSX successfully transpiles. Make sure you don't change any of the content. You need those close tags where they are needed. So what's wrong with this? Let's see div tag, though that's right, because you're putting stuff inside this div tag. Let's see, h2, header 2, okay, that's correct. The BR, this needs a forward slash. P tags are good, and the HR tag needs a forward slash. And voila. Perfect. Components are core of React. Everything in React is component, and here you'll learn how to create one. There are two ways to create a React component. The first way is to use a JavaScript function defining a component. This way creates a stateless functional component. The concept of state in the application will be covered in later challenges. For now, think of a stateless component as one that can receive data and render it, but does not manage or track changes to the data. We'll cover the second way to create a React component in next challenge. To create a component with a function, you simply write a JavaScript function that returns either JSX or null. One important thing to note is that React requires your function name to begin with a capital letter. Here's an example of a stateless functional component that assigns an HTML class in JSX. So constant of demo component, function return div class name custom class. Okay, after being transpiled, the div will have a CSS class of custom class. Because JSX component represents HTML, you could put several components together to create a more complex HTML page. This is one of the key advantages of the component architect React provides. It allows you to compose your UI from separate isolated components. This makes it easier to build and maintain complex user interfaces. The code editor has a function called myComponent. Complete the function so it returns a single div element which contains some string of text. Note the text is considered a child of the div element, so you will not be able to use the self-closing tag. Okay, so making a component is basically like a puzzle piece that you can reuse for other pieces and to make a bigger picture. I'm not very familiar with the software. Is this used to create websites or games or both? I don't know, dude. Like, honestly, I've never heard of React being used to create a game or anything. I know that Twitter uses React for its user interface. So whenever you're scrolling down on Twitter, it loads in like new content or new tweets and stuff. Basically, it's using React or components, as this like prompt is saying, to like reuse pieces of the like, you know how the Twitter has like little boxes within it has like the actual tweet. So the style of the box that looks like fancy or whatever, it gets reused every time the page loads, which React grabs that code and just inserts it as you're scrolling down to make an infinite scroll, right? So that's pretty much what's happening here. Is like React just uses like blocks of code and just reuses it when it needs to, and just replaces the content inside of that with new stuff that's grabbing from the database or whatever, wherever the content is stored at. It's pretty cool because it's like reusable code. You don't have to like rewrite it again because it automatically just fills it in for you. So that's how you can make an infinite scroll page kind of thing, which in my opinion, that's pretty sick, dude. I like Tumblr when they first came out with the infinite scroll. It was pretty sick. And then Twitter, and then, you know, Facebook and shit like that. I think Facebook right now is kind of broken with that because like their UI is like pretty bad. But I don't know. Funny enough, they're the ones who created this library, React, and their website, Facebook, is pretty shitty. I don't know, dude. It's pretty cool. Like, just thinking about like the whole different kinds of programming languages you could use to like create all kinds of different stuff is pretty cool. Like, I might sound nerdy to a lot of people, but like that's pretty sick though. My component should return JSX. Okay. Function return. Return should return the JSX. Wait, what do you mean it should return JSX? The element should contain a string of text. So what is it expecting me to like? I don't get why it's saying it should return JSX. Not really sure what it's referring to, but I'm assuming that it's just wanting me to like a div element, some shit here. Oh, I guess that's a no-no. Oh, okay, cool. I guess the semicolon is not a good, should not be used in React, I guess. Okay, so this is right. JSX is referring to the way it's structured, I guess. I don't know. Doesn't make sense why it's calling it JSX like that. My component should return JSX. JSX, I guess, is the styling of this, how this looks. Should return a div element, which is this, with string of tags. Okay, sure. That's fine. The other way to define React components is with ES6 class syntax. In the following example, kitten extends React.component. Class kitten extends React.component. Constructor props, super props, render, return. Okay, okay, this is kind of like, okay, well, I don't know. The other way to define React component is with ES6 class syntax. In the following example, extends. What do you mean by extends? This creates the ES6 class kitten, which extends to React component class. So the kitten class now has access to many useful React features, such as local state and lifecycle hooks. I have no idea what those mean. Don't worry if you aren't familiar with these terms yet. They will be covered in great detail in later challenges. Also notice the kitten class has a constructor defined within it called super. It uses super to call the constructor of the parent class. In the case React component, the constructor is a special method used during the initialization of objects that are created with the class keyword. If it's best practice to call a component's constructor with super and pass props to both properties, basically. This makes sure that the component is initialized properly. For now, know that it is standard for this code to be included. Soon you'll see other uses of the constructor as well as props. My component is defined in the code editor. Use class syntax. Finish the writing with the render method so it returns div element that contains h1 with a text React, hello React. Okay. Sure. Return. I have no idea what super means or what extends. I don't know what we mean extends React component. Constructor, super, I don't fucking know what that means. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. But I know that it wants me to return a div. The return div should render an h1 heading element within it. So within the div tag, well, I guess since it's closing like that, you should not, it should have a closing div tag because I'm going to have content inside of it. So it only makes sense to do this instead. So I have no idea how these work together, but I know for a fact that render has to return whatever you're trying to put into the website. So that's as far as I know what's going on with this. Now we will look how we can compose multiple React components together. Imagine you are building an app and you have created 3 components, a nav bar, dashboard, and a footer. To compose these components together, you could create an app parent component, which renders each of these 3 components as children. To render a component as a child in React component, you include the component name written as a custom HTML tag in the JSX. For example, in the render method, you could write return app navbar dashboard footer app. Okay, that's pretty simple to understand. When React encounters a custom HTML tag that references another component, a component name wrapped like this example, it renders the makeup for that component in the location of the tag. This should illustrate the parent-child relationship between the app component, navbar, dashboard, and the footer. So basically, it's making a visual representation of how everything is going to be structured within the website. In the code editor, there is a simple functional component called child component, and it has a class component called parent component. Compose the two together to render a child component within the parent component. Make sure to close the child component tag with a few forward slashes. Note, child component is defined with an ES6 arrow function because this is a very common practice when using React. However, know that this is just a function. If you aren't familiar with the arrow function, please refer to the JavaScript section. I already know what the arrow function is, so it's no biggie. Okay, so React component should return a single div element. So it wants me to return a div element. The component should return 2 nested elements. Wait, did I do this wrong? Probably. The React component should return a single div element. The component should return 2 nested elements. The component should return the child component as its second child. So what? Like that? I mean, it makes sense based on this, but because everything within here is going to be rendered and reused in here, basically. The component should return 2 nested component. Oh, okay, so it wants me to like add 2 of these, I'm assuming. No, I guess I'm retarded. The component should return the child component as its second child. Oh, is it? It doesn't want me to nest these in a div tag? Is that what it's trying to tell me? Oh no, fuck. What the fuck is it I'm trying to do? In the code, there's a simple functional component called child component. Okay, in class component called parent. Compose the two together by rendering the child component within the parent component. Make sure to close the child component tag with forward slashes. Okay, so it wants me to put the child component this in here, which I did. Component should return two nested elements. Component. The component should return two nested elements. But what nested elements is that? The component should return a child component as its second child. Or is it asking me to like... Oh, nah, I don't think so. That'd be kind of weird if that was the case. I'd be so mad if it's just the indentation. That'd be so fucking retarded. No. What exactly is it? I have no idea. It's not specific enough. I don't understand. Can you imagine a meme with Agent Smith holding Morpheus' head, asking him, "Do you know the arrow function?" Bruh, no kidding. Like, that'd be pretty funny, actually. I have no idea what's like. I'm gonna get a hint because I have no idea, honestly, what's going on here. Add the component to the rendered in the component, which is it to render. Okay, I did that. Use JS self-closing tags. Okay, I did that. The component to be rendered is child component, and it's to be rendered in parent component. Okay. That does not help at all. Div h1. Bro, it didn't say anything about an h1 tag, did it? That is so dumb. What the fuck, dude? It doesn't specify, like, okay, render an h1 tag as well. Like, what the heck? How does that make any sense? Like, I got it right, but it's just that h1 tag that's being fucking dumb. That's so stupid. What did I get this? What did I do now? I put it within a div tag. Parents, props, constructor, render. Okay, what am I doing wrong? Render, return. Oh, okay. That makes... I'm so stupid because it already has a return statement here. So literally, I do not need these returns because it's already returning here. So I just need the HTML block right here. That's so... Okay, that's so stupid. Wow, I feel so dumb, dude. Okay. The last challenge showed you a simple way to compose two components, but there are many different ways you can compose components with React. Component composition is one of React's powerful features. When you work with React, it is important to start thinking about the user interface in terms of components, like an app example in the last challenge. You break down your UI into basic building blocks, and these pieces become the components. This helps to separate the code responsible for the UI and the code responsible for handling your application logic. It can greatly simplify the development and the maintenance of complex projects. There are two functional components defined in the code editor called types of fruit and fruits. Take the types of fruit component and compose it, or nest it within the fruits component. Then take the fruits component and nest it within the types of fruit component. The result should be a child component nested within a parent component, which is nested within a parent component of its own. Wow, okay, cool. Types of food component should return a single div element. The fruits of component. Huh. Take the types of fruit component and compose it. Here's the types of fruit component, or nest it within the fruits. So it just wants me to add types of fruit. Within the fruits component. Then take the fruits component and nest it within the types of food. Then I take the fruits component that's already made and put it in here. That's pretty cool though. You gotta admit, that is pretty sick. So you can just take this pile of code, put it in here within these two element blocks, and then take all this and put it inside of here to make all this right here. That is pretty cool. That's like playing with Legos, dude. You can kind of see how this works together now. Like, this is like Legos, basically. You take this Lego block, put it in here, then take both of those Lego blocks they combined and put it in this big one right here to make one big thing, right? That's pretty sick. You will be programming card games on motorcycles. Dude, yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Create card games on motorcycles. I'll just make a project where you can just like mount your like freaking phone on your motorcycle, and it like starts like, you know, showing the cards and shit like that. But you have to wear like those VR headsets or like augmented reality headsets, so you can just like see the monsters as you're riding your bike and shit. That'd be pretty sick. I can see that becoming a thing, but I don't know. %, complete. I have quite a few to go. Whew. Okay, so far so good, and I'm kind of grasping the purpose of React. So far so good, and it doesn't seem too complex. I don't know if I can remember this part right here. Class fruits extends React component. Do I just copy and paste this? Is there a different word that's going to be used later on, or what? Is this necessary? Constructor and super of props? I have no idea. I don't know how necessary these pieces of code is, but I guess we'll see. As the challenges continue to use more complex compositions with React components and JSX, there is one more important point to note. Rendering ES6 style class components within other components is no different than rendering the simple components used in the last few challenges. You can render JSX elements, stateless functional components, and ES6 class components within other components. In the code editor, the types of food component is already rendering a component called vegetables, which is rendering types of food. It's rendering vegetables, right? The component of vegetables right here. Also, there is a fruits component from the last challenge, which is this one right here. Nest 2 components inside of the fruits. First, we want to nest non-citrus. Oof. I gotta remember that this is very case sensitive, so, and then citrus. Dude, my spelling will be the death of me, I swear to God, because like I suck at spelling. I think I'm I have dyslexia or some shit like that. I don't know. Both of these components are provided for you behind the scenes. Next, nest the fruits class component into the types of component. Okay, that can be done. Into types of component. Below the H1 element, heading element, and above the HTML, above the vegetables. The result should be a series of nested components which uses 2 different component types. Yep, look at that. Beautiful, dude, beautiful. It's basically trying to teach us how to use how to put, like, take pieces of different pieces of code and put them inside another one, and taking that block and putting it inside another one. So basically, like, putting a box inside a box inside a box, basically. And using everything within that box to make a big puzzle piece, basically, or something like that. I don't know if my analogy is, like, helping at all or just making more things confusing, but I think that's how I see it right now. You may remember using the React DOM API in an earlier challenge to render JSX elements to the DOM. The process of rendering React components will look very similar. The past few challenges focus on components and composition, so the rendering was done for you behind the scenes. However, none of the React code you write will render to the DOM without making a call to the React DOM API. Here's a refresher on the syntax. React DOM.render component to reader target node. The first argument is the React component that you want to render. The second argument is a DOM node that you want to render the component within. So this is where you're going to put the components, which are these, like, types of food and this whole component right here. You're going to, like, call types of food or something inside the first argument. And then the second argument would be what you're trying to target within the HTML. React components are passed into the React DOM to .render a little differently than JSX elements. For JSX elements, you pass in the name of the element that you want to render. However, for React components, you need to use the same syntax as you were rendering a nested component, for example. Okay, so you just have to use the syntax. So types of food would be whatever that little pointy thing, types of food / that pointy thing again, then comma, then whatever element you're targeting. Use the syntax for both ES6 class components and functional components. Both fruits and vegetables components are defined for you behind the scenes. Render both components as child of the types of food. Okay, so it wants me to put fruits and vegetables. I think I spelled that right. VEGET tables. Yep. Okay, cool. Render both components of types of food component, then render types of food, which is basically asking me to use React DOM dot. Oof, I forgot all caps, right? Render. I should be rendering types of food. Yeah, I forgot that it's case sensitive, which is stupid. And then target get was a document dot get element by ID, which I would be targeting challenge node. Yo, we did it. I knew it. Look at that. This is beautiful. Mwah. Beautiful, dude. Beautiful. I'm learning, guys. I'm learning how to do this. This is great. This is fantastic. I'm pretty hyped because now I got a grasp of what is going on. I am grasping what is going on, guys. This is great news. Thank you, Dean, for supporting me. Big shout out to you, my guy, for like sticking for as long as you are and not getting bored of seeing me like write code and shit and struggling. So fruit is like a code sandwich. Pretty much, yeah. Like you can tell, you can kind of see that how it's sandwiched in here. So yeah. So to refresh my mind real quick. This whole thing, this whole piece right here is a component or like a box of things, right? And then within this box, these ones right here are calling other boxes. So two boxes within this big box right here, right? Called types of food. And in order for me to like push this data or this elements or whatever into the actual HTML document, I have to render it using this. And because this syntax or this this wording, which calls types of food, which is this whole thing with these two inside of it, pushes all this, and this targets, which document calls the document, it gets the element ID of the document. So if you within the document, there's an element called challenge node, and then replaces whatever is inside of the challenge node element with the types of food, which is this, which is rendering all this HTML right here. And that's how it turns out to be this right here on the side. So, yeah. Legos, basically. Coding with Legos. That's what you should, that's what React is at this point. I'm 1/4, no, that, yeah, I'm 1/4 of the way done. And it's only been an hour. Wow, that's crazy. That means to complete this course, it'd probably be like another 3 hours, probably. So it's good. This is gonna be a part 4 series, maybe. Part 4, and then I'm gonna have to learn how to use freaking. What was the other programming language I mentioned at the beginning of the video? I think it was like some other one. I don't remember. Now that you've learned the basics, I'm going to do this one and I'm going to call it a night, because like I think it's good to just moderately take small steps. Now that you've learned the basics of JSX and React's component, it's time to write a component on your own. Okay, this is a perfect like ending point right here. React components are core building blocks of React applications, so it's important to become very familiar with writing them. Remember, a typical React component is an ES6 class, which extends to React.component. It has a render method that returns HTML from JSX or null. This is the basic form of a React component. Once you understand this well, you'll be prepared to start building more complex React projects. Define a class, my component, that extends to React component. I totally forgot. I think it was my component extends React.component. Yeah, I totally like forgot. I don't think it's Python. It's not Python. Definitely not Python. It's some other one. It's some other language for like web development. Python, just so you're aware of, Python is not a web development programming language. It's more of like a background language that works in the background that you don't see like actually doing things. RenPy, the way it uses Python is like it uses it as a way to like combine things together, right? And that's how it makes the engine, because it already has its own front end things, and React is basically a front end language, which makes it look pretty. The websites look pretty and shit like that. So, but Python is more of like what makes it actually run, like the actual programming language, coding logic, and all that kind of shit to run in the background. What did I do wrong? I already forgot how it's structured, dude. Let me go back. I need to go back to the thing. So I have to call class. I'm just gonna copy and paste this, dude, because I don't remember this shit. Do I need constructor props? I have no idea. There should be a component called my component. My component should contain h1 tag with my first React component. In case input should matter. Super with props. Yeah, so this is right. It should look like this. Delete all this shit because I don't need it. But basically, we're gonna render shit in here. Let's see. My component should contain an h1 tag with a text. So it should contain an h1 tag with text. My first React component. The shitty thing about this website is that if you misspell something, like it doesn't matter if it's something within here, if you misspell it, it's wrong. That's the only thing. Case, like right here, says case and punctuation matter. So yeah, rip. My component should render to the DOM, which is simple because we're gonna do React DOM render my. Oh yeah, forgot that I need to like add it within this not brackets, but whatever it's called. I totally forgot. And I think it's tagging. There's a div called, yeah, and I'm just calling a div called challenge node. Yo, let's go. I got it. Look at that. Beautiful, dude. Masterpiece. Look at that. Dean, if you got all this down, you know, I'm proud of you, man. I'm happy that I'm able to like actually start learning how to do React, dude. Makes sense. I just have, okay, here's my thing now. I have to remember how this is structured. Like I have to remember this is pretty easy to remember, right? React DOM.render, and I already know what to do with it from that point, right? My only gripe right now is remembering this right here, how this is structured, how I have to put class, the name of whatever the component is called, then extends React.component, and then wrap it in curly brackets with constructor props, super props. This bit, as well as how this is constructed, is what, like, I just can't remember that. Everything else is pretty much easy. I can remember it, no problem, because it's so like distinctive. But the top portion is like, I need to remember that in order to actually like keep going and not forgetting about this stuff. But yeah, let's go back to the menu, curriculum. See, there's so many things right here. There's so many programming languages you can learn. Like if you want to, like, Dean, if you want to like learn Python, here's scientific computing with Python. This is the link. This is like the course for Python. 56 modules for you to learn. And then you can use arithmetic formatter, time calculator, budget app, polygon area calculator, probability calculator. I have no idea, dude. That sounds too big for me. I'm a small boy. I'm not a big boy. But you go for it, dude. I think this is more of like this Python. Yeah, this is more of background language. This is what I'm learning. Bootstrap. This is the other language I need to learn, is Bootstrap. Which is 31 modules to this. I have 12 out of 47. So, look at that. We completed all this. We got all this still to go, which is going to be another 2 hours. Then we have to learn Redux. And then we have to learn how these two work together. And then we actually start, like, making a project here. Like, we actually, like, can build a drum machine. We can build a calculator, clock, random quote machine, which I can't wait because I can quote other YouTubers. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see how long this whole thing is going to take me. But yeah, this is a good learning experience. Let's lock myself in a room for some coffee and Hot Pockets and not leave until I learned it all. Yeah, dude. Honestly, I wouldn't mind doing that. Just like doing a fucking 8-hour stream or something. Just me going through and learning like all these languages right here. Thing is, like, I since I work in IRL and stuff, I've like it's so busy and shit. I don't have time for that, unfortunately. Which sucks because it doesn't give me a lot of time to actually learn. And this is why I'm kind of like live streaming, because it's like it motivates me to like actually push me to learn all these languages, as well as I'm able to share my thought process and enthusiasm of learning these languages with everybody, you know? Or at least for those who are interested in like watching and stuff like that. But I digress. But yeah, I'm gonna call it a night. We'll pick this up probably next week. More than likely than not. I am having another live stream this week on, let me see, what was it? Thursday. I'm actually going to be like writing a Yandere story or like this week's writing prompt. I'm going to be doing this thing where I'm going to like every week I'm going to write a short story. This is so I can like stir up my creative process and like create like more interesting stories and than just Yandere stuff. I'm going to try to aim for fantasy next week, or an isekai short story or some shit like that. Something funny. I don't know. But we'll see. I'm going to like try to get my creative process going. And then maybe the week after that, I'll probably start doing like a drawing live stream or something, so I can like actually start practicing my drawing skills and shit like that. Yeah, like, and like I said, like this, I'm kind of doing a whole bunch of shit. It's like being a jack of all trades kind of thing. It's very beneficial as the content creator because, you know, you get to actually do everything, but at the same time, it can be like stressful because you have to do everything. I mean, I guess you can hire other people or like have people join you. But the thing is, like, as a content creator, I kind of just want to get things done like then and there. And I don't want to wait for anybody. And I just want to be responsible for my own shit. So it's kind of hard to like push my, the stuff to other people, because I know that I will get it finished when I need to. But if I rely on someone else to do it, they might take forever and probably will never get it done, right? But yeah, that's just my 2 cents on that. But yeah. Right, Dean. Right, doing it this way gives you an extra push. Yes, it does. Yeah, I want to see those. Okay, well, in that case, I will see you, Dean, next week or probably later this week for my Yandere writing prompt session. You guys can join me and like think of ideas and like let's write a really good story, and then hopefully I'll see where I'll go with it, and like maybe I could like do another session of how I like record it and like actually recording it and on live stream and like putting it together and then publishing it. So that way you not only will I show you guys how I do my shit, you guys will actually learn how to like actually make a video and stuff like that. So if you guys want to take that information and like actually like build your own YouTube channel or something like that, it's very, you know, helpful for you. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you get inspired to make your own stuff. I don't know, but whatever you do with it, you know, I hope the best, nothing but the best for you guys. Hey, Yell 54 channel, that sounds great, amazing. You are expressing your creativity, freedom, and I'm invested. Heck yeah, man, dude, let's do this. I'm like hyped. I'm like on a mental, what did I say mental for? I'm on a like a I can't even say the word creativity, like role, I guess, for lack of a better word, where I just want to like be more creative with myself, because the past couple of months I've been working like a lot and I haven't had the chance to like actually be creative with anything. And now that I'm actually pushing myself to do all this stuff, I'm like hyped, dude. I'm hyped for the stuff that I'm gonna be making on live stream, but not only on live stream, but like in general, dude. Like I'm hyped. Let's go, dude. Let's do it. But yeah, thanks guys for joining me. Dean, big shout out to you, my guy, for like sticking around. Appreciate the support. And thanks for stopping by Yell 54 channel. I'm not sure what you want to go by, but hope to see you guys next time or later this week for my writing prompt Yandere Stories, short stories writing prompt live stream. If not, I have an Yandere Diary episode 8 coming out this week on Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure to check that out. But other than that, you know, you guys can just follow me on social media, join my Discord, hang out there. I'll pop in here and there, like saying good morning and shit like that to everybody. So, you know, don't be shy to like reach out and like, you know, just whatever you want, with whatever question you want to ask me or whatever, you know. I'm always open to anybody, so I don't want to seem like a pretentious YouTuber douchebag or anything. I'm pretty laid back and chill about everything, so don't be afraid to ask me questions or anything. So yeah. But yeah, all right, guys. I you know, we Midwestern people, we like to extend our goodbyes so much to the point it's like 5 minutes goodbyes or some shit, or 10-minute goodbyes. But this time, for real. All right, see you guys. Hope you have a great week. If I don't see you in the next live stream, I'll see you next week for the another coding live stream like this one. Appreciate everybody who came. I really do appreciate you guys for like showing up and like, you know, chilling with me. But yeah, have a great week and have a great weekend. And yeah, great weekend, everybody. You're gonna have a great weekend, guys. ASMR. All right, guys. Peace. See you later.
海が見える街寂しかった誰にもいないから部屋に寝た沈黙は私の頭を振り返る友達なしで風が吹いている声が聞く頭を見える今あなたはいるから風に愛して飛び込んで楽しかった二人で世界に こうさよなら闇が怖くても行きたい闇に風にあして飛び込んで